As the fishermen prepared to pull in their final catch of the day, a seal appeared, swimming frantically around their boat. At first, they thought it was just curious, but the seal kept diving and surfacing, nudging the boat as if trying to communicate something urgent. Puzzled, they watched closely. When the seal swam off, it paused and turned back, as if waiting for them to follow. That's when the crew realized something was wrong, and they decided to follow it into the icy waters. As we followed the seal cautiously in our boat, an unexpected curiosity grew among the crew. For hours, we had been out at sea, and the fatigue began to settle in our bones. Rick, our skipper, threw out a casual comment about the possibility of a seal acting odd. Yet, I noticed its relentless determination, charging confidently through the waves. It plunged frequently, almost beckoning us forward. The atmosphere shifted as curiosity replaced the fatigue. Rick, our skipper, dismissed the seal's behaviour as nothing more than quirky antics. "Just a seal being a seal, fellas," he chuckled, keeping an eye on the vessel's direction. Yet, the seal's relentless actions suggested there was more at play. Despite Rick's skepticism, its determination to guide us persisted, making me question whether we were missing a critical sign. While Rick's words echoed logic, instinct tugged at me, urging me to continue along the path it led. Despite Rick's skepticism, something about the seal's urgency compelled me to trust its lead. I couldn't quite shake the feeling that the seal was trying to show us something important. Exchanging glances with my crewmates, I saw both doubt and curiosity reflected in their eyes. The whole situation felt bizarre, like a scene from a maritime tale. Following the seal seemed nonsensical, yet there was an unspoken understanding among us to continue the journey. We exchanged skeptical looks, much like teammates deciding the next move during a pivotal game moment. Still, we remained on course, the vast sea feeling more unforgiving with every pull of the oars as the sun began its descent. The day's end was nearing, and fatigue whispered its call for rest. Yet, our perseverance clung to the seal's promise of unveiling something in the mysterious depths. The odd dance between doubt and curiosity spurred us on. The seal glided ahead as our boat sliced through the water, the familiar deck chatter replaced by an eerie silence. Every splash, every creak of the boat was magnified in the stillness. The waves whispered fears across our minds, a symphony of unease. Yet, the seal continued its unwavering swim, occasionally glancing back as if ensuring we were still behind. Tension rose with the stir of the sea, each of us yearning for clarity, some just to turn around. Time seemed suspended as we trailed behind the persistent seal. Suddenly, it made a sharp turn, veering toward a cluster of rocks that poked ominously from the water like bared teeth. My pulse quickened at this sight, knowing the notorious reputation those particular rocks held. Hidden reefs had snagged boats before, but the seal danced its way through them with ease. Its sudden change of course ignited a flicker of anxiety and determination among the crew. The jagged rocks loomed closer, often hidden beneath the surging sea's surface. These were more than just obstacles. They held the potential for disaster, ready to tear apart an unwary boat. Whispers of shipwrecks past lingered among sailors who dared tread these waters. I could feel the weight of those tales now, tugging at my confidence. Yet, propelled by unknown forces and the seal's seeming intent, turning back felt like a refusal to heed an unforeseen urgency. Despite the evident dangers those rocks represented, the seal's unwavering persistence propelled us forward. The rhythmic pulse of the waves mirrored my heartbeat as I realized something extraordinary might await beyond the hazardous path. The seal's determination, its every stroke through the water, seemed purposeful and deliberate. Seeing its silhouette in the setting light, I couldn't help but feel a strange trust, a bond that defied the inexplicable chaos surrounding us. We pressed on, fueled by an emerging resolve. With each stroke of the oar, the weight of responsibility grew heavier, bearing down with the same force of the waves against our fragile boat. The rocks edged closer with every breath, each one a possible end to a hard day's work. Nevertheless, a sense of purpose surged within me, urging our efforts onward. This was more than just a pursuit. It felt like answering a call from the depths whose echo demanded more than caution could allow. Night fell around us, the horizon blurring into a tapestry of deepening blues. Rick leaned back, sighing his intent to call it a day, but I couldn't shake the inexplicable urgency pulling me forward. "Let's push on," I urged, my voice cutting through the gathering darkness. The others hesitated but nodded, trust woven into their reluctant agreement. A shared belief, fortified by the seal's strange guidance, bound us as we decided to brave the night. As we steered closer to the jagged rocks, something peculiar caught my eye amidst the restless sea. A life ring bobbing subtly, its curves distinct against the shadows. My breath snagged, the atmosphere thickening with possibilities. What could such an object mean out here, so far from any known lanes of travel? Our fear mingled with intrigue as we cautiously approached, the life ring's presence demanding attention and foreshadowing unseen layers to this maritime mystery. The sea's dim twilight cast ghostly shapes on the waves, each shadow playing tricks on wary eyes. The seal cut through the water with a grace that seemed intentional, its proximity to the floating ring uncanny. It was as if this creature knew something we didn't, had seen things beyond our realm of understanding. Its animal instinct was pointed, urging focus on the object drifting before us. Yet, deciphering it required all our collective effort. We pressed forward, drawn by the seal's unusual energy, its actions feeling deliberate rather than coincidental. It seemed there was a purpose behind every dive and glance back toward us. "Looks like it's leading us," muttered Jack, voicing the unspoken. The seal seemed to grasp an urgency beyond our human comprehension. This intricate dance between man and beast left us on edge, each moment pregnant with the potential for revelations lying just beyond our view. Arriving at the life ring, we noticed more than just its lonely float. Scattered debris whispered tales not meant for these waters, a cooler box, a piece of torn fabric adrift. Under the starlit canopy, these items painted scenes of an ordeal yet untold, curiosities that prodded deeper questions. What happened here? Who could have left such traces? The air around us grew still, heavy with the unspoken stories carved onto the roving sea. Despite the warm evening, a chill curled through me as I considered the debris and its implications. The sea, with its secrets, seemed intent on sharing an untold narrative. I picked up the piece of fabric, its edges frayed as though it endured a violent journey. Each item hinted at people once present but now missing from this watery stage, and a quiet unease settled over our crew as we pondered each piece's origin. Rick surveyed the fragments silently, his eyes moving between the scattered flotsam. He was as stoic as ever, but beneath that calm exterior, I sensed a mind working to assemble this somber puzzle. Meanwhile, I leaned over to retrieve more items, each collected with care and placed on deck as clues to be deciphered. These remnants whispered of lives and actions unseen, pulling us tighter into this woven narrative of urgency and mystery. The silence grew heavier aboard our vessel, the night air charged with an urgency we couldn't quite articulate. Each crew member focused, our minds racing, trying to connect these battered objects with their occupants' untold story. Eyes met across the deck, a web of understanding binding us despite the lack of words. With every glance toward the rocks and the persistent seal, the enigma deepened, urgency wrapping itself tighter around our mission like an incoming tide. Determined, we ventured farther into the growing darkness, waves clashing rhythmically against our bow. The seal remained our guide, its dark form visible as a beacon through the night. Each splash and shift spoke of courage and camaraderie, the unspoken commitment to uncover the truth behind the unsettling debris. Despite the fears gnawing at our resolve, the seal's presence offered an odd comfort, a suggestion we were not alone in these uncharted waters. Faced with irrefutable evidence that something significant had occurred, our disbelief gradually evaporated, replaced by a shared determination. We were committed to solving this maritime puzzle, the stakes growing clearer with each stroke through the dense sea. The mood shifted from passive observation to active search, our focus honed by the strange, unwavering presence of our seal guide. Its inexplicable persistence challenged every preconceived notion, yet bound us resolutely to the mission ahead. A stained child's shoe floated by, its bright colour standing out in the murky water. I picked it up gingerly, imagining the child it once belonged to. The shoe felt like a whisper of struggle, a silent shout for help. Our crew's determination hardened, fueled by a need to uncover the story behind these floating remnants. As urgency wrapped around us, the question wasn't if we would find answers, but when. We navigated our way cautiously between jagged rocks when a wave lurched and nearly capsized us. My heart leapt as we clung to the boat, the reality of our vulnerability starkly clear. The sea wasn't forgiving, nor were the hidden dangers lurking below its surface. Yet, with a deep breath and steady hands, we managed to regain control. We steeled our resolve, knowing such reminders dulled our fears, but intensified our focus. Rick shouted over the wind, wanting to call it quits as daylight receded. His practical nature tugged at caution, but the seal's agility offered another story. As it darted through the waves, its drive was undeniably infectious. Despite Rick's sensible warnings, we found a sense of motivation in the seal's continued path. It seemed to whisper persistence, and those of us looking toward the dimming horizon shared a nod to continue. Our commitment to the mission felt like an unbreakable thread, weaving through the night's engulfing shadow. The seal moved with purpose, and we followed, driven by something binding yet unspoken. As the stars emerged, they watched over our small vessel, the glow faintly illuminating the determination etched on every face. Compelled by an unseen force, our resolve deepened, convincing us this path, no matter how perilous, was one we were meant to pursue. Exhaustion seeped into our bones, yet our spirits clung to hope as we scoured every inch for signs of the missing. The wreckage, scattered and ominous, told of a past event holding its breath for discovery. My eyes scanned over each piece, eager for anything that might speak louder than the silent sea, hinting at the truth we sought desperately. The crew exchanged encouraging nods, united by a shared mission of revelation. The wind carried a faint sound, like cries reaching across the vast ocean. They slipped through the night's veil, pricking my heart with hope. We froze, sharing alert looks as the cries cut through our heavy thoughts. The desperate wind brought their distant echo, infusing our quest with renewed urgency. Determination surged through our wearied limbs as the sea seemed to whisper its own encouragement for our resolve to deepen further. Straining against the relentless current, we leaned closer toward the source of the cries. Each wave carried and distorted the sounds, pushing us into a chase both physical and emotional. Our hearts synchronized with each shout against the night's canvas, propelling us onward. The sea's embrace had morphed from foe to enigmatic ally, forging an unclear path toward the truth laying just beyond our grasp. Desperation sculpted our determination, guiding every careful maneuver. Outnumbered by the odds, yet one cry was enough to rejuvenate our sagging spirits. The odds might have been against us, but a flicker of hope danced within the darkness binding us. It reinvigorated our determination to trust in the seal and its peculiar guidance. With each rotation of the oars, hope spiraled with the sea's waves. Our hearts, once fatigued, beat in a unified drum, drawing us closer with renewed resolve. Through the darkness embracing us, a silhouette emerged, flickering against the swirling backdrop. I squinted, focusing my gaze on the indistinct forms, hearts lifting at the sight. Figures clung to debris, their precarious balance a testament to their fight. The flickering beam of our flashlights painted them in hopeful lines. It was real. Our trail ensured, our purpose reinvigorated as we yelled encouragement, promising rescue from the night's grasp around their weary forms. Our searchlight confirmed the desperate survivors, illuminating their wary faces with a harsh yet hopeful light. Urgency propelled us forward, breaking through the waves with renewed vigor. The sight of them clinging to hope-fringed wreckage spurred us into action. Life preservers flew into waiting hands, while our boat expertly swayed against the tide, granting refuge. Relief intertwined with joy as each soul emerged from shadowed waters, embraced not only by us, but by answered prayers. The moment we saw them, our instincts kicked in. Each crew member moved with a sense of urgency, throwing life preservers overboard. We hauled the shivering survivors from the icy clutches of the sea. The chill of the water was evident as we pulled each person to safety, their relief palpable. Our boat rocked gently, but our resolve remained steady. Every hand was needed, each action a hope-filled response to the distress we had witnessed. As the last survivor was safely aboard, joy filled the space between us, igniting an adrenaline rush that masked our fatigue. We smiled and shared nods of understanding. Our persistence had a purpose. Yet, amidst this celebration, questions brewed. Who were they? How did they end up at the mercy of these waters? Relief danced with curiosity as we wondered about their ordeal. The urgency that had guided us here settled into an imperative to understand and assist further. Rick stood by, watching the organized chaos unfold with silent appreciation. His usual gruff demeanor softened as he met my gaze and nodded, a gesture that spoke volumes. Our eyes darted across the deck, taking in the scene of energetic recovery. The survivors, huddled and shivering, were testament to our commitment. Despite the activity around us, an unspoken bond solidified within our crew. We recognized the gravity of this discovery, aware that our decision to follow the seal had led us to something momentous. Stories unfolded slowly as the survivors found warmth and safety aboard. Yet, beyond their words, the seal's presence lingered as an evolving enigma. It hadn't simply guided us, it had ushered us to a place of significance. Its continued watch felt deliberate. Meanwhile, each story from the survivors added layers to the mystery, couched in confusion. Threading through their words, the seal loomed as a reminder of what can't be easily explained, drawing us further into its ocean world. The realization hit as the survivors, still trembling, recounted their ordeal. Their boat had capsized unexpectedly, a harsh twist in their maritime pursuit. They spoke of chaos, of hanging on to hope in an unforgiving sea. Each word painted their fight for survival against nature's unpredictability. Listening, our initial questions found some answers, yet the tale confirmed the seal's intent to bring us here. Their harrowing experience testified to why we'd been led through the shadows, guided by animal instinct. As the survivors continued, their memories unfolded like vague sketches on a crumpled canvas. Fear, confusion, and desperation were interwoven, leaving gaps only broader narrative could fill. Nonetheless, the seal's mysterious guidance resonated, unspoken but undeniable. Its role transcended logic. It was an emblem of the unexplainable, confirming what abstract recollections couldn't grasp. Each survivor's story added to the mystery, making the seal's presence all the more significant, a silent conductor orchestrating a tale yet to be fully understood. The arrival of a rescue ship was heralded by a loud horn slicing through the night, flooding us with relief. We've radioed for assistance after realizing the gravity of what we'd discovered. The glow of approaching lights brought warmth back to weary faces, solidifying that our actions bore fruit. As the ship drew nearer, cheers rose among us, their energy crashing through the tiredness like a wave. The seal's guidance had brought us here, and now help was at hand. The rescue ship's glow cut the darkness, forming a circle of safety around us and chasing away ghostly waves. Light bounced across the water, revealing weary faces now filled with hope. Relief spread through the crew as we watched the professionals seamlessly take control. Their competence mirrored the assurance our seal guide had given. The sea's shadows lost their menace under the ship's keen eye. It was a closure, a confirmation that our labours had not been in vain. In the soft glow, eyes met across the deck, unspoken gratitude exchanged between us all. The acknowledgement of meaningful work done united us beyond words. Each rescued soul represented an answered call, and their silent thanks resonated, affirming our efforts. Rick's smile, usually hidden behind practical resolve, shone quietly. Our trust in the SEAL's guidance had paid off, and the shared mission had bound us together in purpose, enriching the silence that settled as we realized our impact. As the rescue unfolded, Rick's attention drifted to the water, catching sight of the SEAL still circling steadfastly. Its calm movements were a nod to the role it had played, a silent confirmation of all we'd followed. Its continued presence made everything feel interwoven, like a story that had both ending and beginning. We watched in awe. This creature shared a narrative bigger than any of us. It was a moment of quiet understanding, a seal of approval from nature itself. We stood there, awestruck by the SEAL's persistence, moments defying any logical explanation. Its behaviour had guided us, a testament to the instincts we hadn't fully understood until now. Eyes looked to one another with a shared realisation. Following the SEAL wasn't just a choice. It was an instinctive decision woven into the night's fabric. We understood the gravity of trust and a guiding force born of anything but logic. Inspired by the day's extraordinary events, I reached for the remaining fish and tossed it gently towards the SEAL. It felt like a small token of gratitude for the profound guidance it had shown us. The SEAL lingered, offering one last glance, almost like a nod of acknowledgement. As it swam around, our shared adventure seemed to weave a bond between man and nature, carving memories we wouldn't soon forget. Lingering nearby, the SEAL seemed hesitant to leave, its curiosity mirroring our own. Then, as if unveiling another layer of this maritime tale, it resurfaced with something unexpected, a waterlogged location beacon in its mouth. This discovery caught us off guard, our eyes widening at the object's significance. The SEAL's presence now felt even more intentional, as if it understood the message it brought forth with the humble gift clenched between its teeth. Had the SEAL recognized the beacon's importance? This waterlogged device stood as undeniable proof of its role in guiding us through treacherous waters. It confirmed the paths we had taken, validating every moment spent following it. Each crew member marveled at the strange intelligence our SEAL ally exhibited. What seemed like instinctive actions were supported by purpose, gift-wrapped in a soaked device that testified to its unyielding instinct and awareness. Now, the mystery that had tugged us through uncharted waters lay unravelled. The SEAL's unexpected clues spelled out our story. Gratitude wove through every fibre of the crew as we pieced together its enigmatic aid. Each gaze at the beacon reinforced the sheer wonder of our experience. This was a story not of loss or danger, but of an instinctive partnership that made sense in the unpredictable wilderness of the open sea. We stood silently on deck, the cool sea air brushing against our faces as we took in the moment. Gratitude rippled across the crew, directed towards the SEAL's remarkable intelligence. Not a word needed to pass between us as understanding deepened. The SEAL's dedication had carried us safely through perils, defying expectations and predictions. Each moment of its persistence was etched into our minds, leaving us in quiet appreciation for its guiding instinct. With the journey concluded, I reflected on the interplay between intention and instinct that had transported us here. The SEAL achieved a bond with us, carving an understanding of the fragile balance of nature. Standing upon the boat, a newfound respect for nature's mysterious forces took root. The SEAL had fostered this connection, guiding our path until it completed its task, leaving us enriched with perspectives we hadn't possessed before tonight's moonlit dance on open waters. The night's events had etched vivid memories onto each crew member, snapshots of resilience and discovery. It wasn't just the evidence pulled from the water or the lives saved. Our journey with the enigmatic SEAL became a story of bond and belief. Each moment we recalled was layered with the spirit of adventure, memories that transcended fear and transferred lessons beyond our humble fishing vessel, nestling deeper into the narrow spaces of memory. Carrying the weight of our extraordinary experiences, we returned to shore, hearts swelling with tales of the seal's uncanny guidance. As our boat kissed the dock, stories spilled over in waves, threading our community with the mystique of our night's adventure. Each recounted detail paid homage to one unpredictable seal whose presence intricately tied the events. Our faith in nature renewed, we circled back, ready to share the awe of our unmistakable connection. Reflecting on each twist and turn, the eve of tangled fortunes emerged as a testament to connections we often overlook. The seal guided us through mysteries not meant for members on deck, but required us to listen and follow. Thoughts unraveled, every detail resonated within the quiet of our hearts. It wasn't merely about a seal or a beacon. It became a testament to the layered interconnectedness we sometimes fail to recognize. Our initially hesitant choice to follow the seal became crucial as the night unfolded. We gained heartfelt lessons about listening to nature and trusting instincts, despite logical doubts. The experience left us changed, each of us carrying a deeper understanding of the importance of intuition. The bond with this unusual messenger enriched our lives and showed us wisdom we couldn't have found in any training manual or guidebook. Reflecting on that night spent at sea underlined just how transformative the experience had been. The rhythmic dance between the ocean waves and our thumping hearts blended into a lesson immersed in discovery. This was no ordinary fishing trip. It required us to see beyond the surface, capturing the depth of courage and unity tied to something greater. What seemed a mere drift into the unknown proved to be an embrace of profound growth. The seal's guidance taught us one invaluable thing. Trusting intuition is as essential as any tangible tool out here. Leading us through perilous waters, it ensured survival and stirred instincts inherently placed within us all. Understanding grew that moments shouldn't be dismissed due to skepticism, but embraced as tests of faith between man and nature. Each of us saw how intertwined human intuition and trusting unlikely allies could lead to unexpected revelations. Our lives briefly intertwined with this seal, nature's unique messenger, which chose to guide us that day. Its purpose went well beyond guidance. It fostered a relationship deep within us, a shared understanding with the natural world. This encounter, brief yet poignant, opened our eyes to the communication that can exist where words fail. It was a reminder that sometimes we are chosen to be part of a story much larger than our own. Rick regaled the crew with every detail of our incredible story, his newfound conviction vibrantly palpable. Each recounting reignited the energy we'd felt in those moments, the portrayal of trust in the unseen. His voice carried lessons beyond mere storytelling, reaching into the hearts of each listener as an acknowledgement of nature's mysterious pull. Those who heard him found fresh resolve, ready to treat our dancing seal's earnest guidance as a gift worth cherishing. The crew's camaraderie strengthened through our shared ordeal, bonds fastening tighter in the presence of nature's marvel. Our experiences transcended individual efforts, forging a unified spirit committed to future adventures. This newfound connection anchored us, each member recognizing the importance of such ties. As we prepared for more journeys, the notion of sailing together felt not just practical, but irreplaceable, introducing us to the wisdom of trusting and leaning into each other. News of our astounding journey with the Guardian Seal spread swiftly throughout the community, igniting curiosity and inspiration. The tale, woven together by courage and a peculiar guide, captured hearts and sparked interest among fellow sailors. Each shared account added to the mystique, illustrating how stories born of the sea have the power to connect and inspire. People found pride in our unique bond with nature, fostering respect for the unexplained yet extraordinary. Our fishing outings evolved after the adventure, turning into respectful endeavours aimed at honouring mutual trust with creatures of the sea. Each gentle saunter across the waves was an opportunity to note subtle signs once overlooked. Members viewed expeditions differently, guided by an understanding of the deep threads tying us to our environment. This respect allowed for a dialogue to form, silently appreciating the shared sanctuary and the interplay of elements around us. Post-seal encounter, fear no longer dictated our voyage's paths, but rather an understanding that changed our core approach. Instead of shrinking beneath the unknown, we embraced it, learning to dance with every fresh mystery tossed our way. The sea was no longer seen as a mere workplace, but a living tapestry we were privileged to navigate. Our intentions evolved, blending curiosity with reverence for all voyage's lessons beyond our immediate grasp. Rick, who once led with skepticism, now wielded guidance from a place of awareness beyond the visible. His journey from doubt became a tapestry of wisdom, lifting our crew to seek understanding even where clarity wavered. Watching him embrace intuition and encourage new perspectives fueled confidence among all crew members. We knew, guided by a legacy formed at sea, that every trip held potential for revealing hidden aspects waiting to be uncovered. Our adventures marked a significant turning point where collaboration with nature became ingrained in us. The seal's contribution transformed our obstinate journey into an episode echoing shared understanding. We recognized how this interaction cemented our experiences aboard as more than mere coincidence, but as pages in a story written by the sea itself. These memories were not just relics of danger evaded, but testimonies to the profound link between man and the natural world. Reflecting on the seal's pivotal actions taught us invaluable lessons about connecting with nature. This encounter showed us that understanding isn't always born from reason, but from a shared purpose beyond immediate comprehension. In its pursuit, the seal reinforced the importance of trusting instinct, lighting a path where logic hesitated. These lessons etched themselves into our habits, infusing us with respect for unforeseen partnerships nature might extend across the waves. The seal's role in leading us to the waterlogged location beacon solidified our narrative of partnership and intelligence. As it brandished such undeniable evidence of its awareness, we grappled with the small but pivotal part it played in a bigger saga. This act underscored the remarkable connection we shared, reviving our perspective of what a guide could encapsulate. The beacon's retrieval reminded us that intelligence exists in myriad forms beyond our singular understanding. The vigilant seal emerged as the story's true hero, steering us decisively toward the castaways. Its instinct transcended explanation, turning what began as an oddity into a chapter of enduring heroism. Our efforts to navigate were secondary to its unparalleled guidance, a portrayal of watchfulness unexpected from the depths. The seal's mysterious influence stretched beyond heroics, becoming a steward championing survival. It was fitting that an unscripted guide could enrich our journey so extensively. In reminiscence, our admiration for the world beneath the waves gained newfound brightness. Our gaze was drawn to the sea as something knowingly watching and waiting, narratives hidden beneath the surface. The journey had opened our eyes to the multitude of stories intertwined with ours, bound by an unspoken trust. The experiences had gifted us respect for the sea's possibilities and a reverence for the simultaneous simplicity and complexity nature exhibited and embraced. This remarkable insight into seal behavior expanded our understanding of marine life considerably. Through our guide's actions, we discerned the deeper, largely unseen intelligence woven through the aquatic world. It taught us to pay attention to smaller, subtler signs we might have previously missed. We learned to view the creatures of the sea not just as distant silhouettes, but as active participants in the orchestration of life's mysteries, each with roles crucial to the greater ecosystem. As dawn broke, casting a fresh light on our surroundings, waves of gratitude rippled through the air, reaching the shores anew. The night's tales, whispered across decks and waves alike, transformed into affirmations of trust and shared purpose. Our hearts, eased by the understanding we now held, merged with the sea breeze, relinquishing any remaining hesitation. The morning marked not merely an end, but a continuous promise to embrace future mysteries and unveil their stories. Returning home, our stories of maritime adventure spread. Each retelling offered threads of hope, weaving patterns of wonder into every listener's imagination. Our hallmark narrative became a beacon of trust in the unpredictable, captivating minds drawn to the sea for thrill or solace. With every tale, we expressed the unsaid commitments and unseen bonds tying us to the ocean's spirit of discovery, mingling insight with curiosity for what adventures lie ahead. Every retold version of the seal's tale fortified our respect for nature's inherent mystery, whispering through waves beneath casual retelling. Each personal recount of our enigmatic encounter served to remind us, forging links stronger than the tangible world. The seals episode emerged not merely as a bedtime story, but as life's vibrant rhythm. Its unvoiced wisdom became a compelling teacher amid receptive hearts, connecting us through awe and leaving us eager to resume our connection anew. Our hearts and minds were forever transformed, eager for the mysteries tomorrow's seas might unveil on each expedition. The journey had fine-tuned our awareness, leaving us in anticipation of what the next adventure held, fueled by an unbreakable tribute to the courageous seal. Understanding that every ripple and shadow held potential for revelation, we stood ready with open hearts, shaped by the knowledge etched into our minds and willing to embrace new avenues of discovery.